Are you there for the review? Okay, let's start.
The shooting settings and the free subjects at 70, 90 and 140 millimeters. Let's start at full aperture 2.8. Both lenses are very good. By the way, Leica has a little bit of a lateral chromatic aberration on a high contrasted background, as we can see here. This little green cast between the black and the white, and it also has a little bit of haze on the highlights compared to the Fujifilm lens. Both has a nice sharpness with a little bit more contrast on the Fujifilm side. This is the same quality on the other two focal lengths and at 90 and 140 millimeters. At f4, the Leica corrects a little bit the lateral chromatic aberration, is still visible, no more haze. Sharpness is good for both lenses. Fujifilm is always a step ahead in the contrast compared to the Leica. Same situation for the 90 millimeters and 140 millimeters shots. Stopping down at the 5.6, here Leica is just a tiny bit ahead of the Fujifilm in the overall image quality. Finally, it has no more lateral chromatic aberration, no haze. Sharpness is a tiny bit better than the Fujifilm, especially on the highlights, but Fujifilm is just a fraction ahead with the contrast as on the other shots. Here I prefer the Leica image quality. At f8 we start to see some diffraction on both lenses, quite normal on a 40 million pixel APS-C sensor. The overall image quality is still very good, but as I already mentioned, the diffraction starts to kick in, especially on high contrasted part of the image. We can notice also at 90 and 140 millimeter shot. I didn't take other shots stopping down more, like f11, 16 and 22, because the diffraction starts to low down the overall image quality a little bit too much for my taste. Here a little color test. Unluckily the weather was a little bit overcast, so we have a difference of exposure time between the two shots. As you can see, here on the Leica is 2000 seconds and on the Fujifilm is 1600 of a second. The white balance is on the white dot here on the eye. Honestly, both lenses are incredible as overall color quality and reproduction. Maybe the Leica is helped with a little less contrast, as more gradients in my opinion, especially between the two blacks, and also a tiny bit between the yellow, orange and red flames down there. Not a big difference, easily manageable with any software editing. Here we are looking at 2 pixels at the minimum focus distance for both lenses at 140 mm f5.6. The Fujifilm has the shortest focus distance at 1 meter. The Leica has it at 1.5 meter to around 170 meters. So the Fujifilm image looks a little bit zoomed in or enlarged, as you prefer. I really like the Fujifilm image quality here. It has more sharpness and contrast. By the way, we must notice that I struggle a little bit to do a proper manual focus here, even using the focus peaking, and that Leica engineers always prefer to optimize the lens for the infinity and medium distance. So I really hope you enjoy this comparison between two wonderful lenses with astonishing image quality. I enjoyed the Leica, even if you need to stop down to 5.6 to have the best image quality. But we must understand that this lens was made in 1995 at the start of a digital era. And so this is a lens designer for the film cameras. We have 13 elements in 10 groups. On the Fujifilm we have 23 elements in 16 groups. One thing to notice is the weight of this lens. It's nearly 2 kilos, so you can understand that it's not easy to take a sharp shot handheld, even if now we have the wonderful IBIS on the X-T5. By the way, the focus ring is very smooth to rotate compared to the zoom ring that is sometimes a little bit sticky or hard to rotate with one hand. One thing I really like about the Leica is the telescopic hood, very easy and quick to take it off and take it down, compared to the plastic bayonet mount of the Fujifilm that sometimes gets stuck or is very hard to rotate. You can miss some shoot, in my opinion, sometimes. Here we have a modern lens compared to the Fujifilm. We have focus by wire, the zoom ring is very smooth to rotate. It has an image stabilizer, and also it weighs half less than 1 kilo compared to the Fujifilm. Also it has overall better image quality in my opinion. So at the end, this is the lens to buy if you have a Fujifilm camera. But if you like to collect vintage lenses, this one is one of the best ever made as a telephoto zoom. Especially if you are a Leica collector, this is a must buy. Even if the price is nearly 4 or 5 times the price of second-hand 50-140 by Fujifilm. I really hope you enjoy this review. You can follow me on the various social media. The links are down below in the description. See you soon on the next review and have a good photos. Bye bye. Quick to take it off and put in. Take it off, put it on. Is very easy